No te consigo, porque 4 or 5 days we go Wi-Fi.
Right outside.
Yeah, just go there. And we'll see there. No, well, I mean.
Oh, this is.
Alrighty, so I will be, reading now Val's claim, or, Val's claim. And, she brought up that, businesses are basically getting hurt by, the minimum wage. And I just wanna bring up that, Nicole Wu wrote a article called "An Increase in the Minimum Wage is Long Overdue." And she says that the National Employment Law Project has found that 2/3 of low-wage workers are employed by large corporations and not small businesses. So, knowing that, looking at the top 50 low-wage employers in the US, such as Walmart, McDonald's, and Target, the National Employment Law Project found that about 3/4 of these large corporations were profitable for the past 3 years and have higher revenues now than even before the recession. The top paid executives at these companies made an average of $9.4 million in compensation. This is well over 600 times the minimum wage. So I don't know, like, if you guys heard what I just said, but businesses aren't getting hurt by this. They're making well over what their low-wage employees are earning. I'm pretty sure they can afford to increase the minimum wage, and yeah, they're not getting hurt by this. She also brought up the same article that I brought up in my first speech, saying that people that earn minimum wage are still under the poverty rate, and that's actually what I said in the beginning. Like, our poverty rate, with the minimum wage as it is right now, we are under the poverty rate. So why abolish the minimum wage and risk having employers paying even less than what they're paying now? That would mean that we would need an increase in minimum wage rather than an abolishment altogether. She also brings up small businesses, that they're getting hurt by this minimum wage law that they have to abide by. So, in an article by Jarrett Bernstein, by the Economic Policy Institute, he says that the number of small business establishments grew twice as quickly in states with higher minimum wages. This is between 1998 and 2001. Even if this is a little bit old, 2001, if employers, Pamela Valerio wrote an article called "Minimum Wage Myths That Keep Our Teens Out of Work," saying, I also don't agree with the title because I don't think that teens are the majority of minimum wage workers, but she brings up a good point that says if employers can absorb an increase in the cost of labor, they will either have fewer workers, hire more productive or educated workers, lay off workers, or pass the cost on to consumers. This doesn't mean that small businesses are going out of business altogether. These are businesses, they should know how to absorb to the minimum wage. That doesn't mean they're going out of business. I don't think that they're getting hurt by this. They just have to adapt. That's just what being in business is about. Just to go along with what my partner said about the minimum wage for tips, she didn't say what the wage was, so I will tell you that it's $2.13 an hour for direct wages. Imagine if we had no minimum wage at all. It could say $2.13, it could be $3, $4, it could be $1. We really would have no power. The power would be all with these corporations setting the wages. Also, my opponent said that minimum wage contributes to unemployment. And I will give you a quote by Jeff Chapman, who writes for the Economic Policy Institute, that just gives some examples of how this isn't true. Hawaii, Delaware, and Vermont are 3 states with higher minimum wages that were among 15 states with unemployment rates less than 5%, and the national average of unemployment is 5.7%. Of the 12 states with higher minimum wages, 8 saw a smaller increase in unemployment between 2000 and 2003 than the national average. So I don't think that minimum wage completely contributes to unemployment. You can't really blame a minimum wage, which is just a wage set so people can survive, contributing to unemployment as a whole. There are many other factors that contribute to this.